All right, let's talk about the role of faith-based organizations. There was a recent poll that came out, said over 70% of Americans believe that faith-based organizations do a better job at community services.
Because Americans are right.
Than the government. You know, addictions, homelessness, poverty, all of these prisoner rehab, things like that. Now, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 allows religious organizations, not just churches, but faith-based organizations, to keep and hire the people that they believe share common beliefs with.
Yes.
Would you insist that faith-based organizations forfeit that right to access federal funds?
Absolutely not. And if you did, it would mean a severe crippling of faith-based organizations and their abilities to do the things that they have done so successfully. Life is full of anecdotes, and I'm sorry to tell you so many anecdotes, but I went to New Orleans after Katrina. Mm-hmm. The Resurrection Baptist Church mm-hmm. was doing tremendous work with thousands of volunteers, I'm sure probably from here at Saddleback, coordinating the efforts of thousands of volunteers, including my own church, the North Phoenix Baptist Church, who came from all over America. And various authorities, off the record, told me, off the record, that they were doing so much more good than the government organizations, that it was incredible, and New Orleans could not have been on the path, and they've got a long way to go, on the path to recovery if it hadn't have been for the faith-based organizations who are still operating in New Orleans, much to their great credit, thank God.
First in, last out.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about education. America ranks 19th in high school graduations, but we're first in incarcerations. Everybody says they want more accountability in schools. Mm-hmm. About 80% of America says they support merit pay for the best teachers. Now, I don't want to hear your stump speech on education.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, and find bad and find bad teachers another line of work.
We're gonna end this. You're answering so quickly.
All right,
you want to play a game of poker?
Could I just say that? Choice and competition, homeschooling, charter schools, vouchers, all the choice and competition. I want every American family to have the same choice that Cindy and I made, and Senator Obama and Mrs. Obama made as well. And that was, we wanted to send our children to the school of our choice. And charter schools work, my friends. Homeschooling works. Vouchers in our nation's capital works. We've got thousands of people in Washington, D.C. that are applying for a voucher system. New York City is reforming. I go back to New Orleans. They were, as we know, the tragedy devastated them. They now have over 30 charter schools in the city of New Orleans, and guess what? It's all coming up. It's all coming up. It's a simple principle, but it's going to take dedicated men and women, particularly in the teaching profession, to make it happen. And by the way, here, I won't go any further, but the point is, it's all based, and it's being proven, that choice and competition for every American family. And it is the civil rights issue of the 21st century, because every citizen's child now has an opportunity to go to school. But what kind of opportunity is if you send them to a failing school? That's why we've got to give everybody the same opportunity and choice.
All right, let's move on.
Sorry you mentioned that my answers were short, aren't you?
No. Actually, this is great because I may actually get to ask you a couple of extra questions, which are good. They're the lightning bonus round, actually. Okay, on taxes, define rich Everybody talks about, you know, taxing the rich, but not the poor, the middle class. At what point, give me a number, give me a specific number, where do you move from middle class to rich? Is it 100,000? Is it 50,000? Is it 200? How does anybody know if we don't know what the standards are?
Some of the richest people I've ever known in my life are the most unhappy. I think that rich should be defined by a home, a good job, an education, and the ability to hand to our children a more prosperous and safer world than the one that we inherited. I don't want to take any money from the rich. I want everybody to get rich. I don't believe in class warfare or redistribution of the wealth. But I can tell you, for example, there are small businessmen and women who are working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, that some people would classify as, quote, rich, my friends, and want to raise their taxes and want to raise their payroll taxes. Let's keep taxes low. Let's give every family in America a $7,000 tax credit for every child they have. Let's give them a $5,000 refundable tax credit to go out and get the health insurance of their choice. Let's not have the government take over the health care system in America. So I think if you're just talking about income, how about 5 million? So, no, but seriously, I don't think seriously that the point is that I'm trying to make here, seriously, and I'm sure that comment will be distorted, but the point is that we want to keep people's taxes low and increase revenues. And my friend, it was not taxes that mattered in America in the last several years. It was spending. Spending got completely out of control. We spent money in ways that mortgaged our kids' futures. My friends, we spent $3 million of your money to study the DNA of bears in Montana. Now, I don't know if that was a paternity issue or a criminal issue, but the point is, it was $3 million of your money. It was your money. And you know, we laugh about it, but we cry. And we should cry, because the Congress is supposed to be careful stewards of your tax dollars. So what did they just do in the middle of an energy crisis, when in California we are paying $4 a gallon for gas? Went on vacation for 5 weeks. I guarantee you, 2 things they never miss: a pay raise and a vacation. And we should stop that and call them back and not raise your taxes. We should not and cannot raise taxes in tough economic times. So it doesn't matter really what my definition of rich is, because I don't want to raise anybody's taxes. I really don't. In fact, I want to give working Americans a better shot at having a better life. And we all know the challenges. My friends, if I could be serious, Americans tonight in California and all over America are sitting at the kitchen table, recently and suddenly lost a job, can't afford to stay in their home, education for their kids, affordable health care. These are tough problems. These are tough problems. You talk to them every day. All the time. Every day. My friends, we've got to give them hope and confidence in the future. That's what we need to give them. And I can inspire them. I can lead. And I know that our best days are ahead of us.
All right. Good. All right. Thank you. Now, we've got a couple minutes left in this section. Here's a security question I didn't get to with Senator Obama. We didn't have enough time. When our right to privacy and our right to national security collide? How do you decide what takes precedent?
It does collide. And there are always competing priorities. We must preserve the privacy of all of our citizens as much as possible, because that's one of the fundamental and basic rights we have. And by the way, including a secret ballot for union organizers, a secret ballot, not a ballot that someone comes around and signs you up. That's a different subject. But the point is that we have now had technological advances over the last 20 or 30 years in communications that are remarkable. It's remarkable the ability that our enemies have to communicate. So we have to keep up with that capability. I mean, there's too many ways, through cyberspace and through other ways, that people are able to communicate with one another. So we are going to have to step up our capabilities to monitor those. Sometimes there are calls from outside the United States, inside the United States. There's all kinds of communications of every different kind. So you need Congress to work together. You need a judiciary that will review these laws that we pass. And at the same time, it's just an example of our failure to sit down, Republican and Democrat, and work these things out together for the good of the nation's security, instead of this constant fighting, which, according to our Director of National Intelligence, until we finally reached an agreement not long ago, was compromising our ability to keep America from attack. And so there's a constant tension. It is changing with changes in technology, and we have to stay up with it.
We'll be right back with Senator John McCain.